Hello, hello, beautiful soul. How are you doing? I pray that you are doing well. I want to welcome you to this Wednesday live broadcast. I am broadcasting live all over the place, and today our question is, what is your dream? And what may hold you back from dreaming big? I want to know these questions because for most people, what I hear is fear. Fear is what holds people back from dreaming big, a lack of confidence or a lack of resources. Well, today's guest is on a mission to help you dare to dream big. So I want to thank you for tuning in over on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Welcome. And if you're watching on the replay, just type in #replay. And we welcome you as well. So this is going to be a fun conversation because today I am joined by none other than the illustrious Siv Harstad. She is a major global Grand Slam adventurer, and she's also a contributing author to my other book, Holistic Healing. And what's really, really incredible about Siv is that she went from burnout, complete exhaustion, and a fear of heights to actually climbing the 7 summits, including going down Mount Everest while blind. I know, sounds crazy, right? So if you've had any sort of excuses holding you back from dreaming big, you're gonna have to let that go after this conversation. So I'm super excited that you are tuned in and that we can have this conversation. So I want you to just help me welcome my friend, my colleague, the crazy adventurer that she is, Siv Harstad. Thank you so much for being here, Siv.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's pretty amazing to hear that you are one of very few people, total, and definitely one of very few women who have actually climbed the 7 summits. That's the tallest peak on each continent, and you've gotten to 5 out of 7 volcanoes, is that right?
That is correct.
Which is just amazing to me anyway. And yeah, and then we'll talk about your adventure on Mount Everest and then what's coming up this year. It's craziness. Thank you so much for being willing to talk about this because as a lot of people have heard your story, they've all wondered, how in the world do you come back from burnout? Because a lot of people, and you've told me this as well, while you were in burnout, it was just kind of like, what do I do? Just laying flat on your back, which you're totally not used to doing. How am I ever going to get back into daily life? What was the most difficult part of dealing with burnout for you?
I think it was that laying on the sofa because I've never done that, and just relaxing and being okay with, spending most of my time making sure my body could recover. So I've been used to like a go life, and then when I got this heavy burnout, I was not allowed to train. I just barely were allowed by my doctor to go for a walk. And then, I didn't really have much energy either. So that was the toughest part, especially mentally, I think. Not being able to do what I was used to, really.
Yeah, like having all of that mobility and energy taken away from you. And how much of the emotional component of burnout affected you? Because normally we talk about these 3 aspects of burnout. There's the physical fatigue, there's cynicism or distancing at work, and then there's emotional exhaustion where you're just like done. How much of that was in play for you?
I think it was like just pulling down the curtain, and I didn't feel like at the time that I was very emotional, but I think on some level we all are, and I think it's important to realize that we need to listen to our emotions and yeah, we need to also handle what is coming up for us, because if we don't, that's going to cause us problems later in life. So I learned a lot around all of this, and I have been working a lot on myself. So it's been a big journey on so many levels to get healthy again from a burnout. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you bring that up, because one of the things I consider burnout to be is like a golden opportunity to reset. Like the things that lead us into burnout, the overworking, saying yes to projects, not having clear boundaries, not taking proper time to rest. Burnout can be actually a golden opportunity to hit that reset button, reset your priorities, your values, and even what you're doing in life. Now, you, of course, took it to a total extreme, going from this high functioning position as an HR executive, and now you're climbing mountains and volcanoes and stuff. How did you go from being in burnout? I mean, you told me that someone mentioned that you should go climb this particular peak. In fact, I want to show a picture of it. Isn't it? Is that true? It was Amadablan?
Yeah. It's well, it's been a dream of mine. If we get up the picture here, to
Yeah,
go climb Amma.
yeah, I'm looking for it. Sorry, I'm going to let you talk. I'll find it.
Well, yeah. So it was a dream of mine to go climb Amadabam. It's this amazing, beautiful mountain, but it's also very exposed. So, and I had a fear of heights, and I was thinking, that's not going to be possible for me. And then my friend, who is a guide, he went and asked me, say, don't you want to come and join me for the next expedition to? And I was like, oh, do you think I could do that? Because he knew about my fear of heights. And here you see the picture of the highest camp we have on the mountain.
Wow.
So you get a picture a little bit about how exposed it is.
And so what are we seeing here? Are these like tents?
These are tents where you sleep.
Oh my God. You're
So
just
if
like
you need,
nestled in snow.
yeah, it's almost digged out the space for where you put up the tent. And if you need to go for the bathroom, there's not really a lot of space for that. So you need to be careful.
Oh my goodness. So how many people were on this expedition with you?
We were, I think, around 12, but we had to split in two groups, because you see here, there is not space for having that many people sleeping here.
Yeah.
So, so we did split in two, and one team ahead and the other team 1 or 2 days after, basically.
So what I'm curious to know is, how did you actually go from being afraid of heights and being a girl who liked to, in your words, you used to like to lie on the beach. How do you go
Yeah.
to the coldest places on Earth and the highest altitudes? How did you prepare for that?
I think it has to do with a passion, and for me to be in nature and to climb mountains, that is my passion in life. And, even though I really loved being on a beautiful sandy beach, there's so many places in the world where you can find these beautiful places. And I've used to said I hate to freeze, but I have to change that around for my plans for this year. So it's just a mental thing, because we need to just stop telling ourselves we can't do stuff because it's uncomfortable or anything like that. Because it is some parts of most life, it is some uncomfortable part. But as long as the part that you love is bigger and gives you more value, that's the most important thing. So for me, to conquer myself, to actually climb these high peaks and do the challenge, that is more important than the few moments that it's not comfortable. Yeah.
Few moments. Well, you were out in snow and ice for weeks. It's not a few moments. Plus, there's all of the preparation, right, that goes into it. So you also told me that just being out in nature was a big part of your recovery from burnout. Tell me about the connection there.
I think most people don't realize how important it is for us to connect with Mother Earth and to be in nature, because it, at least it gives me some really, really good energy. And it's also very grounding, where you can like calm down and, you know. So you don't have to do a lot of activities. You can just sit down and listen or look at the river or whatever, the lake, wherever you are.
Yeah, I definitely get fueled up when I go out to the sea, even if I don't get into the sea, just being there or having my feet in the sand. So, all right, so you made it there. You made it to Amadablam, one of the scariest, most exposed mountain peaks. How did you decide that you were going to keep going, and take on more and more challenges?
Well, first of all, to explain a little bit what I did with this mountain was that my friend who invited me, he told me he believed I could do it. And I just decided, okay, if he believe it, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to sit at home and regret that I never went. So that was that was the one thing. And that is a mental thing. You just have to take a decision, because that's around everything in life. If there's something you want, you need to just decide to go for it, because if not, you're never gonna get it. And I did, when I was sitting in base camp and looking up at the peak and waiting to climb, I was doing some it's called tapping. It's a technique to just calm down myself and my nervous system, basically.
Yeah.
So I prepared myself mentally, and a lot of athletes do this. They visualize themselves doing, the thing again and again before they actually do it.
Yeah, that
It's something
mental
we all can do.
rehearsal.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are tuning in and you're hearing, so what Siv is talking about is climbing all these amazing mountain peaks. So you were doing this meridian tapping, EFT or TFT, got it. And that helped you kind of calm down your nerves.
Yeah. And I saw myself, climb this. I told you about there is a ridge that I was a little bit scared about before going there, but I did it, and I was like, yeah, that's so amazing when you can actually conquer your fears.
Yeah. So, all right, you're giving us some inspiration now to, dare to dream big. That's a pretty huge goal. But you also have some insights on what to do when obstacles arise. Tell us a little bit about what happened in Papua New Guinea that gave you some very good lessons.
Yeah, you're talking about this year, right?
Yeah, that was your obstacle.
One of my obstacles.
Or that was last year, right? 2020.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
yeah.
2020. I think most of us experienced a lot of things happening in 2020, and the year didn't really go as it was planned. I should have been in Papua New Guinea in August, and it was not possible to travel at that point of time, and we still didn't know when we were going to be able to go there. And I have a couple of other friends as well who had their plans, and we all have, big goals and things we're working on. And as a result, I ended up joining forces with one of my friends. His name is Håkon Skog Erlendsen. And we've actually made a new project that we called Dare to Dream Big.
Mm-hmm.
And what we want to show everybody is that it's possible to dream big even in difficult times. You just need to look at where you can find the opportunities. And also by joining forces, we are so much stronger because we can, use his and my strongest point to the benefit of the both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So it, and also to have diversity so that we can, together we are so much stronger, all of us. So I think it's an amazing project that's come out of this little bit difficult year, we could say.
Yeah, but one of the other interesting pieces that you didn't mention in this Dare to Dream Big collaboration between you and Håkon, who's on the screen now, is the thing that you didn't mention is that he's actually a musician. So
Yeah.
you're bringing music to the North Pole, right?
Yeah, we're bringing music along with us, and I think that's one of the fantastic things, because I come from the business side and he's coming from the art side. So the two of us, we have very different, diverse backgrounds, and I think it's going to be amazing for both of us to learn from the other person, and together I think we can create some amazing things.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, I love that you are opening up for people to actually take part in this expedition. So by following you and Håkon, they can see as you're preparing, and I just have to show something. Just give me a second, because what was interesting to hear how you and Håkon have been preparing, because you live in Norway, and fortunately it's already cold and icy there, but some of the things that you guys have had to do to prepare is pretty interesting. So I want to show this, and you can describe what's going on.
Yeah. This is me, a couple of weeks ago, because we don't have much snow in Oslo yet. So, in waiting for the snow and the winter, I'm out pulling some tires, preparing my body for pulling a heavy sled. So, that's
I,
how we do it.
I love it. I love it that you can't make any excuses about the gyms being closed or whatever. It's like, no, use whatever's around you to prepare.
Yeah. I mean, if we don't exercise and train for this, we're not going to be ready when we're going to go. So, to say, well, the gym is closed, that's a bad excuse.
So if people visit your website, they can find a link where they can actually make a donation. And there's all sorts of perks, because I know that you also have corporations and companies that can sponsor you to get, some logos placed on your gear, like the sleds and the things and the stuff. But regular people like me can also support you by going to aimlofty.com, and you can make a donation to the expedition. What are some of the perks that people are getting if they support you financially?
Well, I'm looking at doing some group coaching, and I'm also, when I went to Everest, I was bringing along some hearts with the name of the different people that donated. So I definitely am going to do the same thing, going now first to the North Pole. And also, we have our book that we published, that we talked about, that if you contribute, we're going to be able to let you have a copy of
That's
our
right.
book.
We're talking about this baby right here, yeah?
Yeah.
Holistic healing. So if you contribute to Siv and Håkon's expeditions, you can get yourself a digital copy of Holistic Healing. She contributed a chapter that really lays out her recovery from burnout, so it's definitely worth checking out. Well, I love this, Siv. I love that you have inspired me on so many levels. I know that up in Scandinavia, there's this common saying that there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing.
Yeah.
So every time that I want to like go and whine about, oh, it's too cold to go outside, I'm like, no, you just need the right clothes. So you have inspired me to get out more and more and more. So one of the things that we talked about, Siv, is inviting our audience. So those of you who are watching, would you be willing to play along? Are you willing to dare to dream big? So what Siv is saying, you may not be going to the North Pole like she and Håkon, but you can set a goal for yourself, some big dream. No matter what's going on with the economy or the virus, we can still make these audacious, lofty goals a priority. And so if you would follow along on any of the social media platforms, tag Siv, you can tag me as well, with the hashtag Dare to Dream Big, and let us know what you're up to so that we can support you. And as Siv mentioned, if you contribute to her expedition fund, you're going to get some group coaching out of it. And I think we all could use a little mindset coaching from the master herself.
Yeah, I think that we all have some dreams that we kind of put away, and I think it's time now to take them out again and find out when are you going to do it. It can be to take your family for a trip. It can be to start run maybe 5K or whatever is your dream, and decide, okay, when are you going to take your family to these special trips, and do you need to save money, yes or no, do you have the skills, it's dependent on the goal, but I think everybody has something that they are dreaming for, and now is a good time to start making a plan.
Yes,
basically.
absolutely. And I see that one of our dear luminaries in Italy just wrote the village hashtag dare to dream big. Thank you, Margareta. She has a very big dream of creating like a birth village so that families and expectant moms can come and actually be in a little cocoon of holistic love and goodness. Yes, thank you, Margareta.
That's wonderful, and I'm thinking it's just decide when it's gonna happen. When are you gonna have this village, Margareta?
Yeah. So one thing. Let's talk about that. I know you're going to be with me for my weekend workshop, the best you yet. And one of the things we talk about is breaking our goals from these big visions down into manageable milestones. But you just mentioned one key thing, and that is setting a date. So with something as big as creating a birth village, that's a big one. And that might be hard to predict. What do you say about setting dates for at least, either the first step that you're willing to take or the next milestones?
You don't need to have the whole village in place, but you can say, okay, I'm going to have the first house or the first building, or, take it down, like you say, to smaller parts. It's like they say, if you're going to eat an elephant, where do you start? You need to just take one piece at a time. And if you have a very big goal, it's important to have milestones, so that you have, first I'm gonna, have taking this village, you're gonna have a house, the first house, maybe you're gonna have I don't know, 5 houses, when are you gonna do that? And underneath getting the house, you need to find a location, you need to have all the steps to, maybe you need to have funding for it, all the things that you need to have in place to reach that milestone of having that first house, right?
Yeah. So it's also about just listing all of the steps and all of the resources. Like you were saying with your expedition, you may have to level up certain skills. Like, so for you, it's a lot of physical training. And I wish I had the video of you and Hauken when you went out and jumped into the sea, a few weeks ago, just to get used to being in cold water. If heaven forbid somebody should fall through the ice, you've got to be able to know how you're going to deal with that, which is crazy. But
so that's not something I would love to do, neither now or in the future. But it's good to mentally prepare,
Yeah.
Just the breathing even.
So the preparation includes creating that date. First we start off with the big vision, the big dream, but then setting these dates and these milestones, and then looking at your resources. What is it going to take for you to get there? Do you need to level up your skills? Does that mean getting a coach or physical training, mental training? You've talked about finances. Obviously, we need to have a realistic idea of what our dreams and goals are going to cost to get implemented, right?
Yes and no. Because when I say no, is that it is very easy to believe, oh, it's going to be so hard to get the finances, or it's going to be so hard to get that first house, that you kind of put the date too far out, because there's really no reason why you can't have it within the next 6 months. Anything is possible. So I think also when we talk about dare to dream big, it's so easy to say, oh, I don't have the money. No, maybe you don't have them today, but how are you going to get it? There's so many ways that we can finance things if we open up our minds and start thinking. And I think maybe that's one of the challenges many people have. They actually put limitations down before they even make the plan.
Yeah, I know I've been guilty of that as well.
Yeah.
So we do have to just take that leap of faith. And as Margareta just wrote, the universe is listening.
Yeah.
So I think what you're talking about is also having a willingness to kind of dream big and trust that maybe some magic is going to happen, that we don't even know how things might come. But by speaking it, sharing it with someone else, using the hashtag Dare to Dream Big with us, someone may just connect you with someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone, for example,
Yeah.
right?
And that is the amazing part, because we don't really know everything around getting ready to go to the North Pole in April. We have still a lot of open things, but we're going. We even know what date we're going. So I think that's the mindset you need to have if you're going to be able to dream big, is that you need to believe that you are going to do it. That's the most important thing, and to have faith that it's going to happen,
Yeah, and then I love that idea of at least you're preparing, because nobody knows what COVID is going to be doing, what the weather will do. I mean, restrictions and whatever, but you still have to be ready and make those plans.
If you're not ready, you can't go. So, you can have El Niño, the weather, you're coming in, anything can happen, but anything good can happen too. Not bad only.
That's true. That's true.
So we need to remember that.
That's true. I love it. Well, Siv, this has been fun. I want to hear from you all, though, those of you who are tuned in. We've heard from Margareta. She has a very big vision. Who else is daring to dream big? If you're willing to pop it into the comments, I'd love to know. And as I said, please check out aimlofty.com. On Siv's website, you'll see her TED Talk from when she was talking about her trip to Mount Everest. Spoiler alert, she ended up going blind on Mount Everest. So you have to watch the TED Talk and find out how she got down and how she's here today. But you can also click on the 7 summits, 7 volcanoes, 2 poles, 1 mission. That is to help you live a big dream. If you click there, you can find out how you can donate to the expedition so you can become a part of it. And it doesn't matter if you're just donating a little bit or a lot. There are some benefits to doing that. All right, so I see that Shafat said she would like to meet her soulmate. That's a dream.
Now you put it out there.
So, but with a dream like that, Siv, would you, when it involves the unknown, like another human, would you recommend having a fixed date? Like, I want to meet my soulmate in 2021?
It's sometimes hard to have a fixed date on something like that, but we never know when it can happen. But I think the most important thing is to know who do you need to be to meet that person and prepare yourself. Because if you're ready to open up and meet, then person's going to show up.
Yeah. Well, we also published a book here, Manifesting Love, that came out on my birthday in November, just a few weeks ago. And in Manifesting Love, Margareta Tosi, who's been chiming in about her big dream, she shared a story of how she manifested her beautiful husband, Daniele. And some other people shared as well that same concept that you're talking about, like working on yourself, preparing yourself to be the ideal you, the best that you can be, no perfectionism, but being your best, so that when he or she arrives, you'll actually be ready for them.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Anybody else care to chime in? Well, this has been fun. I think the biggest takeaway for me is, one, I can dare to dream big. And the second one is, no matter what's going on in the world, I need to take action and just be prepared, because magic and miracles can actually happen for us.
It can. And, we're not going to be we're not going to be in the situation we are currently forever.
No.
So things are going to open up for us, and we just need to be ready.
Yeah. And so what's coming after the North Pole? Because I know you're not done yet.
No. Well, me and Håkon is actually gonna ski kite across Greenland. So,
Wait,
and that's
what? So wait. You got to describe this for me. So I know a kite. So it's like you're using the kite to explain that, please.
yeah. So you know the kites. You can see them maybe by the sea as well, where people are kiting on the water.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do that with skis on our feet. So we are planning to cross Greenland.
Wow.
And that's going to be our preparation for going to Antarctica. So, yeah.
Exciting stuff. Well, I want to just show this picture of you and Håkon again, if I can find it fast enough here. So here they are. They're on this new mission, inviting us all to dare to dream big. Definitely make sure that you go to aimlofty.com so that you can see what Siv and Håkon are up to. Voila, there it is. This sounds really, really crazy, but really exciting. I'm so happy that we had a chance to talk about it and that you're inviting us to go along with you. And I know that once you're following Siv, you'll get email newsletters and you'll see these behind the scenes preparations, like these little videos and these little clips that are so motivating, because it definitely lets you know that you're probably in a comfort zone. For most of the people watching, you're in a comfort zone. I know I have been, and just watching the things that you've done just to prepare has been phenomenal. So I just want to say, blessings to you, Siv. I'm so grateful that we're connected and that you're putting on this challenge and inviting us to take part in it.
Yeah. Follow along on my newsletter and you will see what we're up to.
Yep.
And thank you so much for having me here today. It's been wonderful.
Well, it's always a pleasure. So check her out at aimlofty.com. Check out her story in our book, Holistic Healing. That, along with 20 other authors who shared amazing stories of how they recovered using holistic and complementary means. Thank you, Siv. I will see you again soon. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
So there you have it, my friends. We have just been blessed by Siv Harstad, and we've been invited to dare to dream big. I do hope that you will take part in this. Don't back down. What are you going to get into? I believe that we can do amazing things, and we often just don't give ourselves enough of a push. And rather than waiting for something out there to change, we can change ourselves. So my friends, it has been a pleasure to connect with you again. For those of you joining us for the Best You Yet, I will see you on Saturday for day 1 of our Life Transformation Goal Setting Workshop. Until then, please remember that you are a gift to the world. So share your presence with passion. Much love, everyone. Be well.